Happy day to all of you. It is a happy day. It's also the first official day after the first day of fall. Had to get that in, right? Oh, what a beautiful Wednesday. And I hope it's nice where you're at as well. But hey, I thought we'd take a look at Psalm 25. That's the psalm that the Revised Common Lectionary has us doing in church this Sunday. And it's not a real long one, but it's an interesting one at that. If you took all the Psalms, I got a cat sitting here on my lap too. That's right. This is Berta, the one who knows all things Psalms. Right, Berta? Yeah, she's part of my interpretation group here. Anyhow, if you were to look at all the different psalm types, the most common of all of them, surprisingly enough, you might think they're, the praise psalms. Nope, they are the laments. Oh, woe is me psalms, if you want to call them that. Now, you can subdivide those up in a couple different ways too, but primarily they would be the ones that you did as a group, that you said together or were sung as you're marching into the temple with an offering, or an individual lament, one that you would just do on your own, kind of as a prayer in your closet time type of psalm. Psalm 25 is an individual lament. Evidently, the psalm writer really is guilty about something they did when they were a lot younger. And come on, how many of us still have a little bit of guilt of something we did when we were a wild, rambunctious teenager, right? And evidently, that's what's going on with this psalmist. You can kind of tell it when you read it in the original Hebrew. In the Hebrew, it's one of these psalms that's an acrostic, where they take the first letter of the Hebrew alphabet, and that's the first verse. Then the second letter is the second verse. The third letter of the alphabet begins the third verse all the way through. So, and in this case, there's 22 verses. And you can tell that he was really being troubled by something, because he messed up. He skipped a couple of letters. He repeated one twice. And at the very end, he just sticks on another word, another letter. So he got a little goofed up, or else he just couldn't quite express himself in a true acrostic manner. But anyhow, that's just something for the technical people who look at these things that they would be interested in. But it is kind of a fascinating psalm in what it says about the person who wrote it and their relationship with God. Three times, the psalmist is asking and begging God. And he speaks in the first person for himself, and then in the second person, you, God, you. 3 times he's begging him to remember something. Well, actually, twice he asks him to remember something, and the other time he's asking him not to remember something. He's asking him at the beginning to remember his tender mercies, his hesed. Hey, we've heard that before. His loving kindness, his tender mercies. He's begging him to remember that as he's moving through this psalm in prayer. Then he asks him not to remember whatever it was that he did in his youth, because it must have been pretty bad. It's still eating at him on the inside. So remember your tender mercies now, God. Please don't remember what I did. And then he ends up again to remember me according to your hesed, your steadfast love. So it is kind of a neat psalm that you work your way through. But the beauty of it is the way in which the person throws himself totally at the mercy of God. He knows the only way that he has any hope of a peaceful mind and a peaceful spirit is to give himself totally up to God. And this is how the psalm begins. To you, O Lord, I lift up my soul. O my God, in you I put my trust. To you, O Lord, I lift up my soul. That word soul is breath. Breath, spirit, my inner being, who I am, what makes me who I am. I lift it up to you. I'm giving it all over because, Lord, I just can't take it anymore. I'm just so deeply devastated with turmoil on the inside for past actions, even those going way back to my youth. Please, Lord, forgive me. Please, Lord, don't remember those. Don't hold them against me. That's what this psalm is all about. So it's 22 verses long. Read it. It kind of is repetitious. It goes through his whole lament, and then it kind of repeats it again, basically saying, please, God, this is just eating me up. Remember me according to your steadfast love. And I think that's a wonderful psalm, a wonderful prayer that we all need at one time or another in our lives. Well, hopefully, as I said before, this is a beautiful day here, and I hope it's a good day where you are too. God's blessings be with you, and remember, his steadfast love is always with us. And as we've seen elsewhere in the scriptures, as we've gone through them, he takes our sins, the things that we've done in our youth, and he separates us from them as far as the east is from the west. Blessings be with you this day.